I never thought the happiest day of my life would become the day I finally saw my family's true face. My name is Emma, and for most of my life, I believed family meant loyalty. It meant standing beside each other during the biggest moments. It meant celebrating one another, even when life wasn't perfect. At least that's what I believed. Growing up, my younger sister Lily was always the favorite. If she won a school award, my parents threw a party. If I won one, they smiled and said, "Good job." If Lily had a bad day, the whole house revolved around comforting her. If I was hurting, I was told to be strong. For years, I convinced myself it wasn't favoritism. I told myself I was imagining things. I kept making excuses because admitting the truth would hurt too much. Then I met Daniel. For the first time, I felt truly seen. He loved me in a way my family never had. He listened when I spoke. He remembered the little details. And when he proposed under a sky full of stars, I cried so hard I could barely say yes. After years of feeling invisible, I finally had something that belonged to me. Our wedding date was set nearly a year in advance. The venue was booked. Invitations were sent. Everything was perfect, or so I thought. 3 months before the wedding, Lily announced she was dating a man named Ryan. The entire family became obsessed with their relationship overnight. Every dinner conversation was about Lily. Every family gathering centered around Lily. And somehow my upcoming wedding became background noise. Still, I tried to stay positive. Then one evening, my mother called me. Her voice sounded strangely nervous. "Sweetheart," she said, "we need to talk about the wedding date." My stomach tightened. "What about it?" There was a pause. Then she said the words that shattered something inside me. "Lily and Ryan just got engaged." I smiled politely, waiting for the rest. But what came next left me speechless. "We were thinking maybe you could postpone your wedding." I laughed because I honestly thought she was joking. But she wasn't. My parents wanted me to move my wedding so the family could focus on Lily's engagement celebration, not because of a scheduling conflict, not because of an emergency, simply because they felt her engagement deserved more attention. I sat there in stunned silence. My wedding, the day I'd planned for over a year, was apparently less important than an engagement that had happened 2 weeks earlier. When I refused, things became ugly, very ugly, and what I didn't know that day was that their choice would set off a chain of events that would destroy everything they had worked so hard to protect. The weeks that followed were some of the most painful of my life. My parents didn't just ask me to postpone my wedding once. They kept pressuring me. Every phone call turned into guilt. Every family dinner became an argument. My mother accused me of being selfish. My father said families should make sacrifices. Even Lily acted offended. She claimed I was trying to steal attention from her special moment. The irony was unbelievable. I had spent years stepping aside for her. Years. And now, when I finally wanted one day for myself, I was suddenly the villain. Daniel watched everything unfold. One night, after another exhausting argument with my family, I broke down crying. "I don't understand," I told him. "What did I do wrong?" He wrapped his arms around me. "You didn't do anything wrong. But why do they keep treating me like this?" His answer was simple. "Because they've been doing it your whole life." That realization hurt more than anything, because deep down, I knew he was right. The wedding date stayed the same. But my family's behavior became even worse. One by one, relatives started calling. Aunts, uncles, cousins, all repeating the same message. "Maybe you should compromise. Maybe you should be the bigger person. Maybe family harmony matters more." I couldn't believe it. Nobody was asking Lily to compromise. Nobody was asking her to move her engagement party. The burden was entirely on me. Then came the final betrayal. A month before my wedding, my parents informed me they would not be helping financially anymore. Money they had already promised. Money we had budgeted around. Money they suddenly withdrew because I refused to postpone. I felt completely crushed. But instead of canceling the wedding, Daniel and I adapted. We cut unnecessary expenses. We made adjustments. Friends stepped in to help. And something incredible happened. The people who genuinely loved us showed up. Not because they had to, because they wanted to. Meanwhile, my family's obsession with Lily continued growing. Her engagement party became an extravagant event. My parents spent enormous amounts of money. They boasted constantly on social media. They acted as if Lily had achieved something extraordinary. Then whispers started circulating, small rumors at first. Questions about Ryan, questions about his finances, questions about his honesty. Apparently, nobody had bothered to really get to know him. Everyone had been too busy celebrating, including my parents, but I stayed out of it. After everything they'd done, I focused on my own life, my own happiness, my own future, until everything changed. Just 2 weeks before my wedding, because that was when the truth about Ryan finally came out. And when it did, the fallout was devastating. The truth arrived like a storm. A woman contacted Lily directly. At first, everyone assumed she was some jealous ex. She wasn't. She was Ryan's wife, not ex-wife. Wife, still legally married, still living in another state, still completely unaware he had proposed to someone else. The entire family was thrown into chaos. Suddenly, the perfect engagement wasn't so perfect anymore. Ryan had been lying for months, about his marriage, about his finances, about nearly everything. The expensive ring, purchased with borrowed money. The successful business he claimed to own, buried in debt. The future he promised Lily, built on deception. Within days, the engagement collapsed. Ryan disappeared. Lily was devastated. My parents were humiliated. Relatives who had defended them suddenly became silent. Social media posts vanished. Celebration plans were canceled. And the family that had demanded I postpone my wedding found themselves facing the consequences of their own choices. Then came the phone call. My mother was crying. She said they had made mistakes. She admitted they hadn't treated me fairly. For the first time in my life, she actually apologized. A real apology. Not an excuse. Not a justification. An apology. And honestly, that was enough. I wasn't interested in revenge anymore. Life had already delivered the lesson. The people who had pushed me aside had been forced to confront the truth. Not because I exposed them. Not because I fought back. But because reality eventually catches up with everyone. 2 weeks later, I walked down the aisle. The sun was shining. The music played softly, and when I saw Daniel waiting for me, nothing else mattered. Not the arguments. Not the betrayal. Not the years of feeling second best. For the first time, I felt free. My parents attended the wedding quietly. Lily came too. She looked exhausted but sincere. She hugged me before the ceremony and whispered, "I'm sorry." I hugged her back, because carrying anger forever only creates new wounds. That day wasn't about revenge. It was about choosing peace. Today, years later, Daniel and I are happily married. My relationship with my family is healthier, though never quite the same. Some cracks never fully disappear, but they remind us of what we've survived. If there's one lesson I learned through all of this, it's that people reveal who they truly are when your happiness competes with theirs. And when that happens, pay attention. The people who genuinely love you will celebrate your victories. They won't ask you to shrink so someone else can shine. Because real love doesn't demand sacrifice of your worth. And real family never asks you to give up your happiness just to protect someone else's spotlight. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't destruction. It's building a beautiful life without the people who tried to hold you back. And that's exactly what I did.